Hey everybody, Paller here, bringing you another final thoughts. This time of a game called Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Now this is a game I didn't actually ever plan on doing a final thoughts on or anything. It was a little game I picked up on sale a few weeks back. I want to say I got it for $6, $7. I don't remember exactly what it was going for. Um, and I knew when I bought it and everything, it was only supposed to be like a 3-4 hour game, but it had been very highly reviewed. And after playing through it, I felt that it was a game I really should at least give a little bit of a shout out to because, quite frankly, it blew me away. Game comes from Starbreeze Studios. They've done a few things, nothing crazy. They have this. The other big title they have is Payday and Payday 2: The Heist. They also did the remake of Syndicate a few months back, or about a year ago or so now. But this game here, I'm gonna guess, is gonna be by far their highest rated game. It really brings in that borderline question of where do video games become art, and in my opinion, this game 100% is pure art. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so here we are in the game, and the first thing we got to kind of get out of the way, there's going to be one big elephant in the room, and that's going to be this game was originally designed from the ground up for Xbox Live Arcade, I believe. Maybe it was just Xbox, but it was designed around the 360 controller. You have these two brothers here, the older brother and the younger brother, and you control them both independently yet simultaneously. The older brother, the one in the blue, is controlled with the left thumbstick and the left trigger. Left thumbstick moves him, left trigger causes him to interact with whatever he's around. The little brother is the exact same thing, but on the right trigger, or the right thumbstick and right trigger. So there's kind of this, you got to be able to move both guys in a full 360-degree axis simultaneously and with somewhat precision, not insane precision, but enough precision to get things done. And actually, what you're seeing right here is kind of the end of the tutorial area where we're doing one final thing, and it's getting both brothers independently across, but using them at the same time. Um, the reason this is important is the game for the port did do keyboard and mouse controls, and they do work, but they only work so well. The problem is, as I said, you got to be able to move both brothers in a 360-degree plane at the same time, and it's very hard to do that with 4 input WASD on one or the arrows on the other and everything. And it would just, for me at least, I spent about the first 5 minutes playing keyboard and mouse, and I switched over and redid the first 5 minutes with controller. The controller just works so much better. And if you don't have that controller, I think it could really degrade from the game. And it'd be a real shame because this game is terrific. Um, it does some things that I've never seen other games do, and I wouldn't want to detract it from just because you don't have a controller. If you don't have a controller, you can also just try it on 360. Obviously, if you have one of those, you're gonna have a 360 controller. But that is the one negative of the game, and unfortunately, it was just the design of the game that caused that. So that's the big elephant. If you don't have a controller, you might want to take your time. Probably not an instant buy, just because of the input system. Okay, so now let's get into why I felt after playing this game I had to do a little bit of a review of it and everything. That is, when I played Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, I had heard from people that it had been a great game and everything, but I really wasn't expecting what I got out of it. This game starts off with, let me give you a little bit of back history of the game. The first 5 minutes you'll see basically, these two brothers are on a quest. Their father has been sick, and the local doctor, medicine man guy can't do anything for him. So he sends them off. He has the possibility of one cure, but they have to go off and find this cure and bring it back to him. So that is where you start off with in the game within the first 5 minutes. Um, what the game does from there is it brings together a bunch of elements that I don't think any other medium currently in existence, no movies, no books, no music, can do. It's a combination of simplistic storytelling, but done in a manner where the base story is not all that amazing, but how you go about discovering and learning the story adds up to something greater than the sum of its parts. So inside the game, at no point will you hear an English word muttered. Uh, all the characters have a little bit of interactions with each other. They do talk to each other, but it's done in kind of their own pseudo language, something like how the Sims talk to each other, or what it more reminds me of is Charlie Brown and the Peanuts gang when they're talking to an adult and they just hear that wah 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 type thing. It reminds me of that, but it's a little more chirpy and everything. So that is the only actual vocal interactions with it. The rest of the story is told through facial gestures, hand animations, world animations, the environment itself, how things look, and simple pointing, like we'll probably see here, I believe, in a moment. Um, and on the surface, they're very simplistic, but it creates this. The simplicity of it gives it kind of an honest feel to it, rather than a forced feel. At least that's the way I found it. Right now in the industry, so many games have gone to this way, and it's not a knock on them. They want their story to be told in a certain way, so they do this 3-minute cutscene that sets everything up and such, and then you'll play 15 minutes of gameplay, which explores out from one cutscene to the next, and then you get another cutscene to continue the story. The story doesn't really unfold too much in between in the gameplay. The cutscene we just saw there with the troll is probably, I believe, the longest cutscene in the entire game. There might be one more of them that's about the same length as in everything. But for the most part, everything story-wise is told via the gameplay. As you go through, as you discover things, as you traverse the environments, and you see things. That is how the story unfolds. This is something that movies and such could not do. If we took this game and we turned it into a 90-minute movie, it wouldn't be all that good because you would lose some of the features. They would have to put in voice acting, and you would lose some of the subtlety there. You would lose the sense of accomplishment of some of the puzzles you get from, as I said earlier, with the controller and trying to learn how to use left thumbstick, left trigger for one, right for the other, and everything. There is a bit of accomplishment there when you pull it off, like, that's how that was supposed to be done, everything. And without the total effect of them together, none of it would be all that great. But when all these elements come together into one, it creates an experience that I have not had anywhere else, even within other video games. And I think it sets a base level of where developers can look for a better way to use the uniqueness of video games in order to go further into the industry. And I was talking earlier about how I think it could be qualified art and everything. It's hard to argue. And I don't mean that because it's amazingly beautiful to look at, and the game's average to look at. There's a certain, I find, what's softness to the world that I like and everything compared to a lot of games anymore. But it's not amazingly textured. You're not going to be blown away by any of the visuals in this game. So that's not what I meant by art. What I meant by art is more the entire encompassing effect of the game. And that is where I don't believe I've seen anything quite like it. And it was so great to play. I got to really 100% recommend it. Unfortunately, with it only being 3 hours long, I cannot go too deep into gameplay, this or that, because I would ruin, 5-10% of the game just in my video, and that's not something I want to do. Um, what I can tell you is this: if you have a controller for your computer, go out and buy this. If you don't and you have a 360, go out and buy this. If you don't have either, go buy a controller and then go buy this. I'm half joking there. I know it didn't sound like I was being humorous. I was. That's my humor. Um, for $15 for 3 hours, it might not seem like $5 per hour of gameplay is really all that great. And if this was just another game, I would probably agree with you. But there's no other experience currently available that does what this game does in a manner that this does, and to find that effect was absolutely fantastic. If you can't afford it at $15, keep an eye on it, put it on your wish list or whatever, and when you see it on sale, pick this game up. It is terrific, and you will not be disappointed by it. This has been Paler with another Final Thoughts. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.